Hello, and welcome to the Insurance Survivor Podcast. My name's Brian Gleis, and I work for the Scott Agency. On this podcast, what we do, just like in the game Survivor, is to try to help you with tips to outwit, outlast, and outplay the insurance companies. My topic of conversation today is going to be health insurance, not health insurance that's provided by your employer, but health insurance that you as an individual that don't have group health insurance through an employer can go out and purchase. The majority of the policies that you're going to be able to purchase on your own are going to be found on the health insurance marketplace. Another name for the health insurance marketplace is Obamacare or the Affordable Care Act, just so that we can get all of our acronyms into one bucket. Now, there's a website out there, and the advertisements say that it's as easy as signing up for a cell phone plan. Well, number one, there's nothing easy about signing up for a cell phone plan. Number two, I would not do it by yourself. I would utilize a trained insurance broker like myself that has a health insurance license. Now, when you go out to healthcare.gov, which is the website for the marketplace, you will enter in a username and password, or you'll create a username and password. When that happens, or when you do that, I can guarantee you that your phone and email are going to start to light up. You just put yourself on the radar. Now, there's a number of different people out there that can help you. There's insurance brokers like I am. There's also a thing called insurance navigators or applications assistants. I encourage you to use an insurance broker because we have went through the training and actually have our health insurance license. I think that plays an important role in helping you make the best decision for you. So the marketplace offers health insurance plans in a very geographical nature. Depending on where you're at, you may have more plans available than the county next door or less plans available than the county next door. And the way that is determined is how many healthcare systems do you have in your area? So in St. Louis, they got Barnes Jewish, they've got SSM, they've got Mercy, they've got St. Luke's, and the number keeps on going on. If you lived in Columbia, Missouri, in the center of the state, there's fewer health systems available in there. So the offerings that you have might be smaller. As an insurance broker, we can help you go through the marketplace, set the filters, and show you what insurance carriers are available to you. Now, once you see the number of insurance carriers, you might say, oh, well, there's 7 carriers. There's Anthem, there's United Healthcare, there's Medica, there's Ambetter, and the list keeps going. They'll say, man, it's great that I have all of these choices. But the fact is that whenever I plug in the name of the doctor that you use on a frequent basis, it's going to knock out 75% of those choices because only these 3 are going to accept that doctor. So it is very important that when you're making a selection of what program to choose, that you do have a list of your doctors and a list of your medications available so that we can make sure that they are in network. To date, and it is June in 2024, any program that's offered on the marketplace is an EPO program. Now, the only thing EPO means is that if you go out of network, they won't pay a single penny. So it is super important before you have any procedures done, any tests done, you present your card and you say these words: I would like you to pre-authorize this test or whatever I'm getting ready to have done to make sure that everyone is in network and the insurance will pay for it. Sometimes there are people that will do that after the fact, and by then it's too late. Make sure you do it up front. So as a broker, I'm going to make sure that every one of your doctors are in network before we start this thing. After we've started it, I'm going to rely on your doctors to keep you in network. But in my opinion, it's foolish to let the outcome of a procedure rely on what someone else does. So what we're going to do is we're going to be the strongest advocates for ourselves. And exactly what I said, you're going to present the card, you're going to have them do the pre-authorization so that there is absolutely no surprises. So one of the things that the marketplace touts is affordable health insurance. And yes and no, guys, it totally depends on your situation, because what the marketplace does is it provides you a discount, also known as a tax subsidy, dependent on your household income. So I do truly mean your household income. An example would be if you are employed with group health insurance and your spouse is not, your spouse would not be eligible for a tax subsidy or a price break on the marketplace, because the marketplace and or government says, since you have access to group health insurance, you have to take that. You have to. Now, in my situation, my wife is a high school teacher. Her benefits are very strong, but to add a dependent on it, it costs an arm and a leg. So one would think, instead of going on as a dependent on my wife's health insurance, I'm just going to skip on over to the marketplace and get a discount. That makes great common sense, which is the exact reason why it doesn't work. The government has set this up so that if you can get assistance from anywhere else, whether that's Medicare, Medicaid, or a group health insurance plan, they're forcing you to go to those outlets first, even if it's not affordable in your eyes. So the devil's in the details. You won't just go on and sign up and say, this is my income, let's roll, without asking or knowing about the qualifying questions that can kick you out. So I said that your price was dependent on your household income. That would be a discussion that we have. How much do you make? How much does your spouse make? Even your kiddos. If your kiddos are working still in your household, you're claiming them as a dependent, their income can fall into play on this. So we'll set the program up. We'll launch the program. Everything's going swimmingly well. The way I coach my clients is that I want you to follow up in 6 months. In 6 months, is your income on track with what we said it would be? If it's considerably higher, we want to go ahead and make a lifestyle change at that time. When we make that lifestyle change, because your income is higher, yes, it's going to raise the amount that you pay for insurance because it's going to reduce some of the subsidy. But in most cases, doing it at that 6-month mark is much more painless than waiting until the end of the year and it reconciling at tax time, because that's exactly what happens. They will reconcile the amount that you said you were going to make to what you actually did make at the time that you do your taxes. So if you made more, they're going to say, you made more than you thought you would, congratulations, but that means you didn't need quite as much help as we gave you, and they're going to claw some of that back. If the opposite happens and you made less, they're going to do the opposite. They're going to say, you needed a little more help than you thought you needed, so they're going to increase your tax return and help you out a little bit in that fashion. But the devil's in the details, especially when it comes to the marketplace. You can only sign up for insurance during the open enrollment period, which is in November of the year, or if you qualify on a special enrollment period. That could be things like you had a baby, you got married, you lost your job, which means you lost your group health insurance. But it used to be that you could walk into my office 365 days a year and say, Brian, I need health insurance. And I would say, yes, ma'am, yes, sir, sit down at the table and begin to help you. At this time, if you were to walk into my office and it's not November, I have to quiz you to see if you qualify for one of those special enrollment periods. So I'd love to tell you that it's as easy as signing up for a cell phone plan, which again, there's nothing easy about signing up for a cell phone plan. But it is something that you want to talk to a licensed broker on that has access to the marketplace. For me, I have a video, I have notes that tells you exactly what to do before you come see me, so that when we sit down at the desk, we're ready to rock and roll. I'll take you through the marketplace. I'll get you signed up. I will show the plans to you. We'll decipher the plans. And when I say decipher the plans, what you're going to find is, if you're coming off of group health insurance, in most cases, the group health insurance deductible will be lower and the price, or the benefits, I should say, will be higher. When I compare that to a marketplace plan, the deductible is going to be higher and potentially the benefits are going to be lower. It is a case-by-case basis, but that's what I find the majority of times. And guys, if you are in your 60s and you're just tired and you don't want to go into work anymore, please, please, please do not sign on the dotted line and get rid of your job until you have talked to a licensed health insurance agent. Oh, guys, it is painful when someone comes in and it sits down and it's like 63 years old and they says, I have quit my job. I'm done. I'm going to retire early. And then I sit there and tell them that their insurance is going to be $1,300, $1,400, $1,500 a month. And they weren't ready for that. There are times where we have to get the Kleenexes out. So planning is important. Pre-planning is important. Not only as you're getting into your 60s and you're thinking about retirement, when you're getting closer to 65, also talk to that licensed health insurance agent for your Medicare options. They're going to be able to provide you your best options. Please never do business with a 1-800 number that you'll never see the person. You'll never be able to look in their eyes. And I don't care whether that's on health insurance or whether that's Medicare. So the marketplace is a real thing. The Affordable Care Act, Obamacare, it does help people find insurance that need it, but the rules are considerably different than group health insurance. All politics aside, because politics can come into this hot and heavy, it's a tool that you need to understand. Make sure you're sitting in front of the right people that can help you understand it and guide you on the path that you'll be successful. So guys, thanks for listening. Once again, my name's Brian Gleisz. I work for the Scott Agency. This is the Insurance Survivor Podcast. You can find us on the web at scottagencyins.com. You can find us on YouTube under the Scott Agency. You can email me. We'll get it figured out. But we're here to help you outwit, outlast, and outplay the insurance game. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.